Hi guys, it's Ash. So today I wanted to do kind of a low effort video. The last video I did was like super high effort type vibes. It was really intensive for me. It took me around a month to film, purely just because there was so much work involved in making the final product. I mentioned in my other video that I've been watching Prickly Alpaca's videos, and occasionally she'll do videos where she designs clothing based on just nature, her vibes, whatever she's feeling, things for spring, things inspired by fantasy stuff. And I wanted to do something like that today, except I wanted to do something inspired by nightcore. I'm not a big person into like the aesthetics. My personal style is my personal style. It is very unique. I have a running joke with my art friends that each of us has our own little aesthetic. So my style is ashcore. There's literally nothing else like it. Yes, I have a lot of inspiration, but my personal style is singular. But I do like a lot of fashion that takes inspiration from like medieval fantasy, medieval revival, fantasy inspired stuff. I've been really loving video game fashion, particularly when it comes to like Nomura's designs for Final Fantasy and some of the earlier Final Fantasy games. So today I wanted to do a video where I just designed some nightcore inspired outfits. These are some of these things I think I will try to make in the future. My sewing videos have to be put on pause because my sewing machine finally kicked the bucket. We're talking, this thing is older than I am. Somebody dropped it in my garage and it is now broken, and it's been giving me problems for years. So I think it's time I just have to invest in a new sewing machine, which sucks because sewing machines, the ones that I'm looking into, which are more high quality and will last me longer, are so fucking pricey. But it's gonna be worth it because I am interested in making my clothes for a very long time. So any sewing videos that you see from me will be not anytime soon. But that's besides the point. I hope y'all enjoy the video. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I started with like three little of my I drew myself 3 times just so I would have lots of room for my little design template. For the first design, I was inspired by chainmail. This seems very like obvious for a nightcore design, but that's why I started with it because it was easy. And I keep seeing people using like silver yarn and crochet, like mesh crochet, to look like chainmail, and I was like, that's so cool. So I thought for my first clothing item, I would make like a little sort of like top with like a front panel sort of situation in a crochet with silver thread. And then I was looking at a lot of images on Pinterest of like musketeers or like lady knights, and a lot of them had like slashed pants in terms of the musketeers. I was really inspired by that to do like a striped sort of short pattern. I thought this was really cool. I also, in the same sort of vein, I was seeing a lot of like dueling stuff, like what's it called? Fencing. A lot of fencing uniforms have this like side opening that I thought was really cool that I made into sort of like a bolero crop top situation. You'll find that a lot of the things that I quote unquote designed are just like straight up rip-offs of actual pre-existing either couture designs or things that I saw in paintings or fan art or whatever. And in this case, I stole the boot covers off of a Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind cosplay, except I changed the color. But they were fabric, and I thought this was really cool because it kind of looks like armor, even though it is just fabric. You can tell I was really indecisive about the silhouette of this one. I thought maybe just like the top was really basic, and I was like, oh, I need to add something more. But then I realized I need to pull back because there's a lot going on, and I'm gonna overdo it by trying to fit everything in. I also added a belt as a little accessory. Most of these outfits, or I think all of them, I would wear with boots. So you'll see me draw the same like black or brown boots over and over again. Here's me trying to experiment with the slashed sleeves sort of motif. And again, I'm gonna end up totally trashing it just to end up going with that as my last outfit. Or the last sort of final design for the first outfit. For the next outfit, this was centered around a jacket that I saw by J.W. Anderson from their spring summer 2017 or 2019 collection. It was very like medieval, sort of fantasy inspired. I'll put it up on the screen here, but I became like totally obsessed with this jacket. It's so cool. So I thought that I would make my version of it. I didn't add 2 puffs, just the one. And I also added this like grommet detailing on the side. More of the lady night pictures that I was looking at Pinterest, or a lot of the like women gender bending like medieval men's clothes, a lot of them had these sort of like leggings, like pants situation. So I thought that I would do something like that, except I got this idea. You'll see this later, I'll end up adding this later. But there is a designer that I follow on Instagram who recently did a collection of clothing that has ball jointed like elbows and knees to imitate dolls, and I thought this was so cool. So I ended up adding sort of like a ball jointed inspired patch on the knee of the leggings to give them some visual interest, and also some boot covers but like smaller, and a knitted or a crocheted belt. And onto the last design for this first part. I kept seeing a lot of couture dresses inspired by medieval or fantasy designs that had an off-the-shoulder silhouette, so I thought that I would do that. And I wanted to mix it up with the colors a little bit, so I went with an orange, and looking back, I kind of like the orange more than the color I ended up picking at the end, which was this like blue, like a navy blue sort of color. So I might make that an orange if I actually get around to making it. But I really liked this sort of like gathered sleeve and that I was seeing on a couple dresses. And I also, you'll see me add a lot of quilting to a lot of the pieces that I end up designing, because the quilting, like diamond quilting, really reminds me of like what in my head like squires wear a lot of like quilted sort of padded vests and things, or like jousting equipment, or like protective clothing has quilting in it to provide some padding. So you'll see I'll add a lot of like diamond quilting designs to a lot of the pieces that I end up designing, and this is no exception. I ended up adding a quilting motif sort of like on the sides of the shirt. I wasn't sure if I wanted this to be a shirt or a dress. My decision is that it's a mini dress, just so it's somewhere in between. I also added some more leggings slash like skin tight form-fitting pants, and some cloth, not knitted or crocheted, but like t-shirt sort of style scrap fabric type leg warmers. You can see me here, I'm starting to label all of the things. Again, these are things that I like actually want to make in future, so labeling everything helps me remember the vision. You can see that I totally mentioned the J.W. Anderson cardigan, and I end up adding some extra sort of quilted details on the boot covers of that second outfit. But yeah, I actually really love these first 3 designs a lot. But now we're going to go on to the second designs. So for the second designs, I was like absolutely scouring Pinterest. This took forever to edit because I kept having to pause what I was doing to do more research as I went along. But I went for a classic like pirate shirt silhouette for this first top, which is really basic, but I wanted something basic to fit with these like pants that I saw on Pinterest. I'm fascinated by these. They have like a skirt panel in the front, which again sort of reminds me a lot of like the knight silhouettes or like fantasy silhouettes that I was seeing in some of the Final Fantasy characters, where they would have like pants or shorts on the bottom and maybe like an overskirt or some kind of tunic on the top, which would create sort of this like skirt pants silhouette. So I thought this was super cool. And again, here's more of that quilted detail. I also wanted to add a quilted vest with the diamond quilting pattern, again, inspired by like what I imagine fantasy squires to wear. I also ended up changing the silhouette of the pants from low-waisted to high-waisted. I just think they would look better. And I became very indecisive about the color of the shirt. So I ended up going for gray, so it looks a little bit more muted. I like a lot of muted colors, you will notice. But also I think bringing it back to the silver, I wanted to have a very muted, sort of like silvery color palette to imitate like armor, or like kind of like the grittiness of a lot of like fantasy knight aesthetics. I also added some buttons on there as like a decorative element. I don't know that I'll actually include them when I make this, but it's fine. Also styled with boots. For oh my god, this is not the second outfit. This is the 5th outfit. For the 5th outfit, I wanted to do something styled with something that I already own. I own these like capri jeans. They're like a dark gray sort of wash. And so I was thinking of those, and I thought maybe that I would make something similar to the first outfit I did, but instead of having like a crochet little tunic thing, I would have a tank top, a white pastel tank top or muscle tee that I embroidered a little sword motif. So very on the nose with like the Nightcore stuff, but I've been seeing a lot of these like hand embroidered things on Pinterest that I really like. So I think that would be really cool. And I also wanted to make another sort of like bolero situation on top, except I picked like a blood red for this. That might change. I may change that to like a purple or an orange. I'm not 100% sure on the color of that because it's really intense. But I do really like this idea, and it would have like a hood or like a really thick cowl sort of neckline. And I added some like gauntlets. My idea for that would do like fabric sort of cuffs. And I also ended up adding this little crochet hat, which I've been seeing quite a bit of, this like mesh hat. I just think it's cute. I don't know if it really goes with the theme, but I thought it would look nice. And for the last outfit, I wanted to go fancy with this one. I know a lot of these were more like casual, like low effort sort of outfits. So for the last one, I kind of wanted to go like full out fantasy vibes. And I've been really loving the bubble skirt silhouette lately. I bought all the materials to make a bubble skirt, and then now that my sewing machine is busted, I'm so sad, but I'm loving that. And I also kept seeing, again, like the slashed sleeves. There was a Dior gown from a couture show that had this sort of like bubbly silhouette using slashed sleeves and like all these fabric ribbons to sort of create that vibe. So I wanted to incorporate like some stays and boning into the top, and with like a square neckline, some of that like slashed sleeving on the top, and then like more of like a form-fitting sleeve that would end in a point. And then I also thought maybe like a tapestry inspired stockings, like medieval tapestry inspired stockings. I've seen a couple of these on Pinterest. Would be really cute with some silver kitten heels and some hardware around my neck, some jewelry. But yeah, these are all the designs. I hope you like them. These were so fun. Okay, so that was the video. I hope you liked some of the outfits. I know these illustrations were not like my peak Ash's art ability, but I recently had some mental health stuff kind of go down. I'm trying to slowly get back into drawing, and this was a good like turn my brain off exercise where I can just like design silly things that are very low effort, just something to get my hand moving on a paper again. Next week's video is gonna be fucking crazy. I'm starting to film it in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, right now this is all I have for you. And let me know if you'd like to see more videos where I just design clothing and where I talk about like my design process. Hope this video maybe gave you some ideas, got the juices flowing. If y'all make one of these designs, that would be literally the most flattering thing of all time. But just tag me, tag my art account, my Instagram account, let me know, and stick around. I have a lot more stuff. I have like an infinitely massive list of things that I want to make and do on this channel now that I actually have the time and space to do them. I've had so many ideas in the works, and I want to do everything from video essays to DIYs. Like, oh my god, I could just talk about this forever, but I need to shut up. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will catch y'all on the flip. Bye guys.